Hello and welcome to my channel. This is your usual humble host Emmanuel. Today we are going to progress on the discourse on sex. This episode is Sex 2. In the last episode we did kickstart the discussion on sex in marriage. Today we're going to go further by making some distinct definitions, explanations on certain aspects of this subject matter. Number one, we just want to uh, explain love. What is love? Love is deep appreciation or affection or approval or likeness uh, to someone or something, but in this case to someone. And we are talking about love in marriage and sex in marriage. We need to state also that there is a clear distinction between love making or love uh, in marriage and sex in marriage. So we're going to try to separate them, draw a parallel, and then explain each one in its merit. Now, talking about love, you can actually describe love in three distinct categories. There's what is called the agape love, which is uh, the way I would put it, generic love. Is love that is shared amongst humanity, people of the same species, uh, that has no particular uh, commitment. It's just the fact that we're humans. Is it love that will make you to see a beggar begging for $1 or naira and you give out without expecting anything? Uh, is the love that will make you see somebody who is hurting and you come around to help? Is given to random persons just for the fact that we are human beings. The other one is the filial. I have to be brief so we can take it into our main discourse. Filial derives from familiar, family. Is the love that is expressed within the family. Parents to children, children to parents, partners to each other. Now, is the type that will propel you when your partner is sick, for instance, to cater for the person or is moody or is facing emotional challenges and you come in to help, to reassure, to commiserate, to give warmth, to give happiness. The third one is eros. Eros actually is said to be a Greek goddess of love and sex. Uh, the mythical goddess is called Eros in Greece and Cupid in Rome. The Roman equivalent is Cupid. These are the goddesses of Greek and Rome, respectively, which induce uh, love and sex. So that's where the word is derived from. Uh, it's the kind of love that makes you want to have intimacy, uh, intimacy that will lead into sexual relationship. And we say that these three types of love, or aspects of love, must be present in a marriage, in a home, to address these uh, specific areas. The eros is the one that makes you desire your partner for sexual relationship, intimacy. The philia is the one that makes you cater for your partner. Uh, in marriage vow, you say in sickness and in health, and so on. So you don't run away and go and jump into another relationship because your partner is having challenges. So where there is filial love, it makes you to look after each other and in fact the children. The agape love we have explained is the one that makes you care for the fact that this my spouse, after all, is a human being. Uh, if he's incapable at this point in time, it's my duty to come in and uh, look after uh, my spouse or my partner. So that's defining love. The other thing we need to define is the temperaments of human beings. Um, we act the way we act or feel the way we feel due to our temperamental leanings. And scholars and philosophers have been able to categorize every human being into four distinct categories, namely the melancholic, the sanguine, the choleric, and the phlegmatic. The phlegmatic. Um, there are also um, two distinct personalities, namely the introvert and the extrovert. The introvert is someone that you know reclines to himself or herself. He doesn't like crowd. He doesn't like to be you know distinguished in a crowd. He just wants to keep to himself or to herself. The other one, the extrovert, is very loud, always comfortable in a crowd, and likes to be distinguished. Uh, all of this you find in marriage. You might marry someone that doesn't like crowd, doesn't like party, doesn't like socializing, and you're wondering what happened. It's simply an introvert. Or you marry the one that wants to hug everybody and kiss everybody and shake hands, and it's an extrovert. So if you understand this, then you will know why your partner does things the way they do. Um, it's also important to mention that for the four temperamental divisions, there is also one is dominant in each person, but there are also flickers um, of the other temperaments. So it's not just you can be melancholic, but you have a little uh, bit of sanguine or choleric uh, tendencies. So um, if I take a little um lesson from the writing of Dr. D.W. Ekstrand in his note, The Four Human Temperaments, um, it says um, it says that the it says so there are reasons for everything we do as human beings. though it is often difficult for us to understand why we think like we think, feel like we feel, or act like we act in life. Many of the answers for human behaviors can be found in people's temperaments or personalities. The study of the human personality goes all the way back to the famous Greek physician Hippocrates, 460 to 370 BC, the father of medicine, that's what he's called. He was born during the prophetic ministries of Nehemiah and Malachi, some 450 years before the birth of Christ. Hippocrates' work has been researched extensively and is used as a dynamic diagnostic tool in both psychology and psychiatry to this day. A generic explanation of human temperaments or personalities that all of us have been born with genetically inherited behavioral tendencies that are as much a part of our DNA as is the color of our hair. All of us are made up of DNA combinations passed on to us through our parents and ancestors. This fact is important because it helps us to more fully understand our basic behavioral disposition. Even though much of our human personality is inherited, it should also be noted much of it has been influenced and shaped by our unique environments. Most scientific research on human behavior suggests that about 50% of the variations in human personality are determined by genetic factors. So our human behavior is shaped equally by our environment and by our DNA. Thus, all of us as human beings have been hardwired by our Creator. We are not just products of random chance. Uh, so I was quoting some documents. And we have all been impacted by the world around us. Furthermore, according to the scientific analysis, all human personalities are commonly divided up into four major categories, with the exception of those with severe mental disorders. And these four types are further broken down into two categories: extroverts and introverts. Extroverted personalities. The choleric and sanguine personality type are more outgoing, more sociable, and more comfortable in a crowd, even standing out in a crowd. Introverted personalities, on the other hand, that the melancholy and the phlegmatic personality types, are more shy and reserved and feel anxious about being in a crowd, especially at being singled out in a crowd. So we will stop here so that we can digest this. And I always want to make the videos short so that you don't get bored. We are going on a long journey, and my mother will say that uh, no matter how long the journey is,